This story starts in high-tech world linked with cultivation world. Player goes to that world to get cultivation and loots. But after some time, portal opened for the monsters invaded the human world and attacked the players. Endless war has started and many players were fighting these monsters. The world was in much damage. A ultimate demon lord had entered the war. Our main character, Gu Qinshan, and his team were fighting the monsters. He goes towards the demon lord with all his powers in full spirit, and their collision blackouts and a new place where it was thundering. Two people came to check the weapons from dead players. One man looks at a shiny weapon and wanted that one. So he targeted the owner of the weapon, and owner suddenly wakes up and attacks that man and pierces the sword. That's our MC. Asks himself, where was he? Then dead man thrusts his chest. He turned to monster and grabs the MC's neck to ground. Mac, he takes a tool on the ground. The monster moves back. He got angry and moves towards the monster and kills that monster. The other man who was standing and watching was shocked and asked, was he a ghost? Misi showed his identity to that one man. A notification appears before Qinshan showing his identity. He is now a Vanguard army soldier. He then confirms that he was reborn. It was a war god system, but suddenly then a monster running towards them. Qinshan used his critical hit to end the monster in a slash with the sword. He saw many monsters appearing, so he asks the man to go fastly to hiding locations. They enter a blue portal and enter some monster-free area. Those monsters won't be able to find them. MC immediately thinks of his survival strategy. He saw some weapons and sees a skills notification by touching them. He chose a bow and clicked acquire skills. His body acquired all the skills and took an arrow and pointed it to a target shot, and it was great. So he added his spiritual power and let go the arrow. That one totally blew of the target part. A sudden earthquake, he looks outside from the magic barrier and it's the faceless giant, the big monster. It was coming towards them. Thinking the man was doomed, Qinshan said to man not to panic. Luckily monster stepped off the barrier. That was a tense for the moment. But another problem. Barrier got broken and other monsters were ready outside. Qinshan alerted the man. MC prepared himself and attacked those monsters with his bow and arrow and finished them. Looking at the big monster at far walking, he says something big is always happening to him. Next day, Qinshan sees monster through the barrier. He gets to the ground and asks the man, where are these monsters coming from? But suddenly from the sky falls a bird. The bird suddenly turns and shouts humans and then flew away in a flash. MC used his arrow to bring down the bird. He takes a red necklace from bird. He tries to recollect his memories and asks the man the today's date. Qinshan contemplated about the past happened. A sudden notification appears of return to the real world. Qinshan was unprepared for that. He goes back the real world, appears at a location which is his school in a time before the apocalypse. Suddenly hears a voice calling him, and it was Shuer, a classmate and noble lady. And then MC's friend appears with Shuer, telling that Qinshan had something to say. The hall was spread with confession talk. MC remembers what had happened in the past to him because of his friend. He was tortured. In confession to the noble lady failed all things. Qinshan don't want those things to happen again. So he kept his cool, and about to ask. A whole hall was eyewitnessing. He says he want to have a meal with. MC's friend was shocked, and the hall. MC's friend talks about Qinshan's confession. Then MC saw the friend's hand, and he grabs it and spins the friend to ground, and it was a rink he took it. MC's friend was like, don't know. He couldn't believe it. And asks the two bodyguards of noble lady to take a look at the ring, and Aunt Sue was shocked. There was a chemical on the ring. Hur was surprised. MC's friend wanted to get out the situation so ran. Then Old Lee catches the boy in flash and uses his power on that boy and asked him, who have it to you? Also looked into his mind but no evidence. That suffering boy begs for Qinshan to spare him. MC kicks him hard and sends him flying. Nobel was surprised to see the new Qinshan. MC was looking at his status, and that faulty friend and others boarded the plane. Shuer and Qinshan said byes to each other. He felt the relief. In very moment, another plane appears. A butler asks him to board the plane to meet his young master. Qinshan and young master met. The topic turned out to be Shuer. Young master warns him to not get tempted by Shuer. MC warns him too to not come to him, and it's his business to think of that and leaves. The angry boy asks his butler about plan. With a evil smile, he says in an hour, Quinshan will be finished. In slums, our MC was walking home. Some drunkards were fighting and one of them bumps into MC and attacks him with a knife. For his surprise, MC dodged it and attacked him in return. One of them to ground all others alert and MC took out his bow and other attached with guns. Quinshan attacked them in a way faster and ended them with his powerful arrows. Only one survived among them. MC took his arrow and pointed to his eyes and asked who sent them. Boy said all the truth, and as MC knew this gonna happen and who did it. The schemer butler called that boy. Quinshan asks him to give his phone, and boy gives it. Butler talks how are the things, and MC replied we failed, I'm still alive. He calls that butler for fight and breaks the phone, tells the boy to leave. Boy was shocked. MC said you did all things I said so you are alive. The boy got emotional.